What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm doing is unboxing, setting up and installing Black Widow exhaust full headers on my 2022 CB1000R Black Edition. Now this exhaust does come in quite a few sections, and Black Widow did do a good job just making sure all the pieces are properly labeled, and you'll see that once I start to unbox it. So what I'm gonna do today is set it up. In the end, we're gonna do a full exhaust sound check, and also I'll let you know what the status is as far as getting this bike tuned. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So a couple things about this exhaust while I get it unboxed. Now this fits the Honda CB1000R 2018 all the way through 2023 model. So should work for the Black Edition or any model dating back to 2018. This has full race specifications, so no internal restrictions. Weighs 3.8 kilograms or 8.3 pounds. Which is a fraction of the original, and I'll flash the original weight right here where you can go ahead and see it. This is set to increase the performance 6 to 7 braking horsepower. It accepts the original Lambda O2 sensors, which was very key for me, at least choosing this set of pipes. So no modifications for the bike's standard settings. Identical silencer connection as original, accepts the original silencer or any that you currently use. So for me, you know that I did install LeoVince on my CB1000R, so that was something I was looking into as well. I did want to keep that end can or that slip-on there, so that was another factor. High quality TIG welded, wended by hands, super smooth internal, maximum internal gas flow. So the downpipes expands from 37mm to 42, and increased throttle response and performance. So in the box, we're going to have all the pieces. They're all going to be labeled. We're also going to have 4 exhaust gaskets. These are going to go to the headers. We're going to have 1 silencer gasket, and this of course is if you need it. Has a central mounting bracket and tension spring. This also comes with an exhaust paste, and this should give you a better seal of using in those connection points. So the approach that I'm taking for this is what I'm going to do is just kind of semi-assemble everything on my table before I even bring it down to the garage. Watched a couple videos where folks were either putting them on backwards or not knowing which one was number 1, which one's number 4. So I felt that assembling these it is gonna just make my life a lot easier when I get down to the garage to put everything on. Alright, so now comes the process of just taking everything apart and getting ready to fit this new exhaust system. So for me, I did have the SW Motec belly pan or engine slider or whatever you guys want to call it, and for me, just taking that off was a couple Allen bolts. Took about 5 minutes to get that off, and then the exhaust itself was pretty much exposed. After that, I started focusing my attention on the slip-on. I do have a heat shield on there, carbon fiber heat shield, so worked on that. Then I went ahead and got the big bolts out. Like I said, for this, it was pretty straightforward, just getting those Allen keys, those straps off. Then I was able to slide the slip-on right off. So the next step for me was just getting those Lambda sensors off. Those are pretty difficult, more difficult than I expected. And the reason why is because there's this metal bracket in front of them that makes it hard to get in there with a wrench. So what I had to do was use pliers to kind of bend those metal brackets a little bit until I can get those sensors loosened up. Once I got those loosened, I was able to just unscrew it by hand, and then I was able to get those out. Now, very careful when you're taking these out. You don't want to touch them. You don't want to put your grease on them or anything like that. You want to avoid any contact with your fingers or anything, just to maintain the integrity of it. So got both of those out, then it was time to move on to the next step. So the next step for me was just getting the main bolt that actually holds the cat on the motorcycle. This is going to be the biggest part of the exhaust system, in my opinion. Just bulky. This is what's gonna do a lot of the noise filtering. This is gonna take care of a lot of the carbon emissions and all the stuff that makes this bike compliant, Euro 5, Euro 7, whatever compliant. But able to get that out, and after removing the main bolts, one on each side, the only thing that was holding the actual exhaust system in, or the 8 bolts at the header, and that was the last things that I had to install. So just to keep the pressure, keep the weight off of that, what I did was just put a big weight ball, medicine ball underneath the cat just to keep that in place until I finish getting the headers off. Alright, so here where we're at, I do have the 2 Lambert O2 sensors out. Those were kind of a pain in the ass because we have this piece right here in front of it, but find out that you have to kind of bend that out of place, and then you can get in there with pliers and just turn it loose. So like I said, pain in the ass, but the worst part so far is getting these nuts off the headers. For me, what I had to do is I started with a socket, but really the best tool to use is actually a 10mm wrench. So really have to play with it. You are gonna get your arms in there and just work it slowly. You can see I have 7, so I have 1 to go. And while I'm doing that, I do have just something underneath the exhaust, just kind of get some of the weight off the last bolt. And hopefully I have 1 bolt to remove, and then the rest should come off. All right, so pretty heavy, and I'll put the weight difference there. Just looking at it, you can see this piece right here is what's going to take up the bulk of the weight. Here's the bike. Looks pretty empty without it, so kind of worried about the overall look, but we're going to put it back, and then hopefully we'll get a good look, good sound. So let's get to it. All right, so again, here's the 2 side by side. We'll see what happens once we start running at it. Should turn brown. I thought about putting a wrap on it, but we'll see what it looks like naturally, then I'll decide if I want to touch it. So like I said, you can definitely see the difference there, and let's go ahead and we'll get it installed. Just like I have it laid out here, so on the right side of the bike is going to be 4. So this side's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. So now all I have to do is turn this around this way and start fitting it 1 by 1. So let's go ahead and get started. Fit the new pipes, fit the Y pipe. So essentially going backwards, but let's go in reverse. Like I said, the worst part about this is gonna be getting these fitted and getting those tightened. So let me get those going. All right, so making some progress, guys. It's really hard to kind of show you what I'm doing, but as long as you just do it in reverse. I started at number 1. Working my way back to number 4. So I'm just doing them loosely right now, so it is still movable. And once everything gets set and I get the O2 sensors back in, I can start tightening everything up. So, so far so good. It's just a lot of pain. Hard to kind of videotape this just because it's so tight in that space. So I'll get back to you once I get down to the Y pipe and the sensors. All right, so got the headers fitted. Next thing, I'm gonna get the Y pipe for exhaust 3 and 4, which is gonna go on like this. And I wanna really do this quickly. Just get O2 Lambert sensor installed. That way I can free spin this before I actually have to fit it on, just to avoid twisting the wires. So get the Lambert sensor installed, then I fit these 2, and then that should hold stable. Then I can start putting some of these springs in.
I didn't have to reroute the Lambert sensor. I just feel like there's enough slack to pull it down where it won't be too tight, as you can see there. As long as you get the sensor on first and then put the pipe in, you should be good. But let me know what y'all think. That's what worked for me, but your mileage may vary, I guess. All right, so that's fitted out, should lined up. Lambert sensors are good. It's lined up. And got a couple more springs we got attached here. So we have to put this guy on. It's gonna hold everything in place, of course. So let's go ahead and do that. So got it on. All I gotta do now is tighten those headers. And that should be basically it. Wipe it down and then we'll do a quick first start. All right, so got everything tightened how I want it. The headers are in. All I need to do is put on the engine cover and then I should be good to go. So let's finish that up and then we can get into a quick sound check.
overall, this was a good purchase in my opinion. The bike sounds really good. I did go ahead and buy the silencer for the LeoVince just in case, but I haven't had the need to put it in yet. I just wanted to have it just in case for whatever reason needed to tone it down a little bit. As far as my pipes itself, they are starting to turn a little bit blue, and I'll go ahead and flash a video right there. You can see where it's going right now. I have ridden it a couple times, but I do have plans to get this tuned, and I do actually have an appointment on the 6th to get this tuned and dynoed. So stay tuned for that. I'll try to get some video for you, but as for now, I love the sound. Sounds amazing. Not noticing too much of the horsepower gains, but just the sound is amazing. Any questions, drop it in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.